The Conjuring 2, the next great Christmas classic. The Conjuring 2 is once again directed by horror master James Wan and sees the return of Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga as paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren. Alongside the duo features many frightful people. The Conjuring 2 tells the true story of one of the most documented paranormal investigations in history, that is, the Enfield poltergeist. This film was something I was highly anticipating, as James Wan has proven time and time again that he is a force to be reckoned with when it comes to horror, and as you guys know, I gave The Conjuring a 9 out of 10. Now, I kind of expected more of the same, if not more, from this movie. Sadly, I don't believe this film lives up to the bar set by its predecessor. Now, what made the original so great was James Wan's style was on full display, and here his style had a commercialized feel to it. It's almost as if his work on the last Fast and Furious movie kind of drained him of the thrill to his filmmaking. This was something that became very blatant right from the opening scene. It just felt different. I don't believe exploring Lorraine's vision into kind of the past and paranormal world was necessary. It felt off, kind of like it had a very Insidious vibe to it, and I didn't really dig it all that much. Luckily, though, it was cool seeing the Amityville house outside of being a main centerpiece for a horror film. This is a trend that continues for the most part of the film. Cool moments restrained by the averageness of other things. And it doesn't help with the runtime of being over 2 hours. And I know with the original Conjuring, it clocked in at about the 2-hour mark. But there, it was very unnoticeable and the time just flew by. But here, the runtime is felt. There are many scenes that I would have cut to make this a lot tighter of a film. One in particular is the motif of the Crooked Man. I just felt like his arc was anticlimactic, and there is one scene in particular with stop motion, I believe, that really took me out of the film. This is by no means a terrible film. It's just not as good as I wanted it to be. I had such high expectations for this film, guys, and when you look at the amount of potential it had, I just felt like it wasted away. It's very prevalent that James Wan's style is missing in this film, however, the imagery and craft is still there. The setup to some of the scares, though cliche, were executed perfectly due to the design of the demons. And though the old man will give me nightmares, I gotta say it was the nun demon I should say, that was featured heavily in the advertising that really let me down. The first couple times you see this demon, it is very disturbing and gets under your skin, but as time goes on, by the end, the demon kind of came off goofy to me. A specific scene that I recall where the demon was starting to lose me was the kind of painting scene in the room. I'm trying to be very vague here, but I thought the scene had ended in one place, or I thought it was going to end, but then it just kept on going and going and going. And by the end, it really kind of left me clueless of why the scene kept going on. I mean, if the creators would have stuck to cutting the scene where I thought it was going to end, it would have made for a really creepy sequence. I understand that I was pretty vague there, so if you know what scene I'm talking about, definitely leave a comment down below and we'll trade back and forth what we liked and didn't like about that scene. I think more than anything, the biggest issue I have about this film is how generic it felt. With so many horror films nowadays kind of copying the same exorcist possession format, it's hard to differentiate one from another, and I feel like The Conjuring 2 has fallen victim to that. It felt very straightforward and generic, but it is through its craft that makes it so great. It feels well made, and it's through its performances that makes this film feel grounded. It's just a shame that this movie suffers from a lack of originality. I really wanted to like it. Maybe I'll return to it in 3 years and find a love for it. I don't know. I know I was mostly negative about this movie in this review, but I do recommend it as it is one of the better made horror films. Just go in with reasonable expectations, especially if you've come off seeing something like the first Conjuring. But with that being said, The Conjuring 2 gets a 6 out of 10. Alright guys, this has been my review of The Conjuring 2. If you like this video, please smack that like button. As always, share it to your friends and subscribe for more videos. My next review will be of Lights Out. So look out for that in a couple of days, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.